Return of the King trailer right now because we've got Return of the Hobbits on the stage in just a few moments, and those moments are right now. Please welcome to the Fan Expo San Francisco stage. Let's give it up for Billy Boyd, Sean Astin, Dominic, Monaghan, and Elijah Wood! Stand up. We're going to do a big group photo, everybody, with you all facing this way. Everybody get up there. Let's get our photographers up on the couches. Let's do it. Let me hear it once again for Billy Boyd, Sean Astin, Dominic, Monaghan, and Elijah Wood. Let me hear it. Say
Hello. This is amazing.
Yeah. It's DJ Awesomeness Prime right over there, spinning some tunes. Awesomeness Prime. Should we get over here? Are you okay? I think so.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go.
Fan Expo San Francisco, let's hear it. Come on. Do we have any Lord of the Rings fans in the building? All right.
There's so many of you.
So many of them.
Hi.
They're so excited to be here. They're so excited to meet you and see you. They've met you down at your tables in the photo ops, and here they are now for a spectacular experience. One reunion to rule them all. You can see what we did there.
Nailed it.
You see what we did there.
Yeah.
Now, you went on a tour with us in 2022 and 2023 to a bunch of our Fan Expo shows in different cities. And in each city, we did a bit of an initiation, a welcome, something specific to that city. So in Dallas, you did the two-step. Yep. In Chicago, you did some improv. In San Francisco, it is known as the location
Drag.
of... They're gonna do a drag performance for you right now. No, they're not gonna do. Of a hit 90s sitcom, can you, any of you name what?
Full House.
Yes. So in the style of Full House, we'd like to redo your intros, but in the style of a 90s sitcom TV show.
Love that.
So we have some costumes here. Give it up for Tajan, who is our staff member here. So go ahead, stand up, guys. Pick some 90s attire. There's some hats and some glasses for you to put on. This is
Is
a
it bad
tradition
that for me it doesn't seem that long ago?
All right. And, yeah, whatever you like, whatever accessories you like. Oh, Elijah, looking good. All right, yeah, put that jacket on, Billy. You got it, yeah. Dom has went with, there we go. Okay, here's how this works. Our amazing camera op is gonna go one by one. You're gonna start with your backs to the audience. And we're gonna do this 90s sitcom style. You're gonna start with your backs to the audience. I'm gonna introduce your name, and then you're gonna pop to the front. You'll be able to see yourself on the screen. And then give us just some kind of like movement. I'm your director, as if you were in a 90s sitcom and you were introducing your character for the first time. All right, we'll go from left, stage right to left. So left to right. So we'll start with you, Billy. Okay, are we ready? This is a photo opportunity, everybody. The camera's dead center right there. They're gonna punch in on you, so don't worry, don't worry. But you'll be able to see her, yeah, they're already punching in on Billy right there. All right, hit it, DJ Awesomeness Prime. All right, first welcome, Billy Boyd. And don't forget about the wacky neighbor, Dominic Monaghan. No family's complete without the dad. Let's hear it for Elijah Wood. And of course, featuring Sean Astin. And that's your 90s intro. Give it up for them, everybody. Thank you. Very nice.
I can't stop.
Keeping
Yeah,
these
give it
on.
some more. Kick it back up. Sean wants to keep going.
Sorry.
No. All right, you can keep those on, or you can take them off.
I almost broke into the
Imagine
icky
if we
shuffle.
just kept it on a loop like Too Many Cooks. Has anyone seen Too Many Cooks?
Oh my God, yeah.
One of the great short films of all time.
Yeah, so good. Well, welcome to San Francisco. Thank you all for being here. It's a holiday weekend, obviously here in the States. Some of you grew up in the States, some of you have not, but have lived here for a while. What are your Thanksgiving traditions? Did you do anything special this week, or is there anything that you hold near and dear to yourself as a Thanksgiving tradition? I'd love to kick it off with that. Sean, you're nodding a lot. You want to start it? Yeah. Love Thanksgiving.
My wife and 3 daughters, primarily my youngest daughter, and I started this tradition 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years, I don't know. We watch the dog show. We have a lot of dogs at our house, like too many dogs. Like during COVID, they were like, how are you feeling? Like, we're okay, get another dog. So at a certain point, you're like, I think we have too many dogs now. But then we watch the dog show, and someone in our house guesses at the beginning out of 500 dogs
Who the
which
winner's
one-
gonna
yes.
be. Get the heck
Yeah, and you have the different like categories, so there's little mini contests. But Bella, 3 or 4 years running, has nailed exactly which one. It was gonna be the Dalmatian this year, but they went with some Shih Tzu. I don't know, but so we weren't happy about that. But that is our
Is this the Westminster Dog Show?
yes, yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
It's amazing. It is fun to watch. I've watched the Westminster Dog Show.
And you go back and forth between the parade and there's Cher and the cold, and then boop, there's a Schnauzer mix.
I always forget about the parade. I didn't watch the parade this year.
Come to our house. It's on a loop. and then we have our dinner, and then after dinner, and this is going on probably 10 years now. Our friends come over, and they do their Thanksgiving tradition ritual at their place. But then they come over with pie, and we sit and play games and visit, and it's a. I think it constitutes a ritual. Everyone. I'm
Yeah, that's
sorry.
amazing. That's amazing. What's your favorite pie?
Yes. I like pumpkin pie.
Oh, okay.
yes.
Yeah,
But if you don't try the cherry or the apple, then you've offended them. So, don't want to offend anybody. You got to eat a lot of pie.
A little bit of everything. Elijah, how about you growing up?
Traditions, I mean, it's the same kind of dishes every year, you know? Growing up, initially I had a lot of family in Iowa, so we had, kind of the family would converge in Iowa, a lot of extended family, but then moving to California, less of that. So it just became about the dishes and sort of the things that we would sort of unite around: green bean casserole, always a turkey, the
Christine
standard
said-
stuff. But we changed locations and, sometimes
Christine-
Friendsgivings as well.
Christine said this year, she goes, do you want to do the yam dish with marshmallows? And I looked at her like, like you're asking, like I'm so offended that you would, what do you mean we wouldn't have it? I don't understand. But what about Thanksgiving that you orchestrated in Queenstown?
In New Zealand, yeah, we did do a Thanksgiving.
During shooting?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was November, and the weird thing is November is inching into their summer.
Yeah.
And weirdly, it was cold, if I remember correctly, and it had even snowed, I think. Because it was around the time that we had left that area where we'd gotten snowed out, was it not? Around the similar time, but yeah. Anyway, there were a number of Americans there working on the film,
For sure.
and we organized a Thanksgiving dinner.
Not
Had a
we,
guest-
bro.
All right,
Not
okay, had a
we.
lot to do with it.
Elijah Wood is 19 years old, and we're all there, and
I rallied a bunch of other people to
No,
help.
you said, I recall this distinctly, because I'm like, what is the level of self-possession of this human being? Where he said, no, we're gonna get a house and we're gonna do Thanksgiving. And I was like, can we do that? and you said it several times, and then the production office just made it happen. And I'm like, he's magic.
Yeah.
He makes magic happen.
We can all agree that Elijah Wood is magic, right? Can we all, Dom, first off, Dom, you are wearing those sleeves very well. Are we right, everybody?
I feel like I was born in these things.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Never taken them off.
Dom and Billy, was this your first experience with an American Thanksgiving during shooting of Lord of the Rings? Or did you...
Certainly first experience during Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I wasn't really aware of what it was when Elijah suggested we should have a Thanksgiving feast. And then I was kind of confused because Thanksgiving dinner is kind of Christmas dinner a month early. Yeah.
We get two of
It's
them. in.
potatoes, it's veggies, it's stuffing, it's gravy. So, but it was great. And
I remember the music jam session that we had after.
Yeah, we definitely-
That house had instruments,
yeah,
and we played music,
set?
and and we were all kind of playing instruments in a circle. It was
yeah.
amazing.
No, it was great. I like things that don't have any real pressure associated with it, apart from just enjoying a meal and company. No gifts, no expectation. So yeah, Thanksgiving's a great treat.
Very nice, very nice. Billy, same question. Was that your first experience kind of enjoying a Thanksgiving feast? And what are your traditions these days, given that holiday?
I have no memory of a Thanksgiving dinner in New Zealand.
Do you not remember? You were definitely there.
Was it fun?
It was great. It was great.
And there was instruments and all sorts of things.
Yeah. I remember
fantastic.
listening to "Fool's Gold" by Stone Roses.
Oh, yeah.
Dancing
Was it?
around.
Was the
I think
turkey
Billy would, I
and
think
all
you would
that?
drink.
Was it?
Did the house have a bath? That's where you could generally find Billy, in the bath.
I do enjoy a
asleep.
bath. I do, but I do like Thanksgiving now. You know, I when in Rome and all that. So I do, and any reason to have a roast dinner, right, is lovely. So I did have a roast dinner, and I like the idea of giving thanks. I think that's a nice thing. So just to sit around and say what you thankful for is, I think, a really nice thing. And then I played a game of golf. I've taken up golf. And I'm one of the great golfers now. So that's going to be a tradition for me on Thanksgiving. I'm going to go and play golf every Thanksgiving.
Well, I think I can speak for the audience and the fans here in San Francisco that we are thankful for you for taking time on this holiday weekend to be here. You all talked about getting together, giving thanks, right? The holiday is about coming back together as a family. You shared your Thanksgiving together on set in Lord of the Rings, as you gave us. What is it like to get back together now? What are some traditions that you all have as a group every time you get back together and see each other?
We go out for meals.
Yeah.
Every city that we've been on this tour that you were just describing, every time we would sort of have a text thread going and deciding what restaurant we would go to, and every city we would break bread. It was the best. We did it last night. We're going to do it again tonight.
Elijah,
Yes. Tell us.
Someone's like, yes.
Elijah is a foodie. We
Wait.
don't go to any old restaurant.
We are all foodies.
I am now. I'm totally a foodie. I don't go afterwards to get like a Big Mac or anything. I enjoy the meat. No, I mean you guys pick restaurants around the country in the different countries you go to that are, you know, they're memorable. They're really, really memorable meals. The food, the ambiance, everything about it. It is really, really special. I don't, in my life, that much like decide to make special occasions just because, and that's what you guys do. You create special occasions of all of our Fridays when we do these shows.
Yeah, we just kind of agreed that these conventions are really fun, but to a certain extent, they can sometimes have the tendency to bleed into each other because even though we're in different cities,
San Francisco.
The four of us are doing the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
We're showing up, we're signing things, we're meeting people, we're taking photographs, and it can sometimes be a bit confusing where we are. So we like to kind of plot it by going to a restaurant. And also when you look back on some of those times, when everything can kind of mash into everything else, it's the nights out at the restaurants that define those trips for us all, I think.
Yeah, love it. Billy, did you remember last night's dinner?
I have no memory of it. Now, it was a great dinner actually. It was incredible. It was one. I mean, we've been lucky enough to eat some great food, but last night was very special.
It was at Atelier Cren. Does anyone know that restaurant? Yeah, it was really good.
19 courses.
Oh, with various pairings, alcohol pairings along with it, or
We actually shared a wine pairing.
We
A
did.
single wine pairing. amongst
Not
the
from
two
the
of us.
one glass.
You both participated.
We also share. You did share.
Yeah, we did. We passed glasses to Sean.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this kind of restaurant is the experience of just hearing them describe what they're serving you is enough. The fact that there's food in addition to that is unbelievable. It's poetry. It's spoken word. It's music. The way they describe the kinds of it. You walk around and you think the rest of food is like I feel sorry for food.
After such a nice experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of those experiences, you talked about, Dom, you said traveling over the world, right? It gets confusing, right? In the sense of you're here, you're meeting new fans, you're in different cities, you like to cap it off with a dinner to kind of remember it. But what is it like? What is it like traveling as your group to all these different countries, all these different cities, and all these fans out here coming because of how you changed their lives 20 plus years ago with a little film series called The Lord of the Rings. It has to feel special every time, no matter what city you're in. Just describe the sort of feelings that you feel.
I mean, it's extraordinary. I think the thing that we think a lot about is that, 20 years on, these films are still having such an emotional impact on people's lives. And for us, we get to have the experience of meeting all of you and you telling us personally how it's affected you. And we hear stories about, families who connect every Christmas holiday and watch the films.
Yeah.
Relationships that were born as a result of a shared mutual love of the books and then the films. People who had endured incredible hardships, emotionally, mentally, physically. People who were sick that found hope in the stories. And that goes way beyond anything we did in the context of making these films. We all had an amazing experience in New Zealand over the course of 4 years, amongst thousands of people bringing these things to life.
Yeah.
But it is that collective that ultimately brought it to you, and it has taken on a life of its own that's so far beyond us. And it is this sort of like ripple of connection and love that emanates from those movies. And it's just extraordinary that, over 20 years, we're still talking about it, and it still feels just as fresh. It's still just as fresh because you tell us how fresh it is for you. We've met so many people here who literally just watched the trilogy 2 days ago. It's an amazing thing that will be with us for the rest of our lives and long past our lives as well. So no, it's
Yeah, and it almost feels like it's as popular as ever. There are screenings in movie theaters. There are orchestras playing live score. That's my favorite thing to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The other gentleman, what is it like to still feel that love?
I just wanted to add on to what Lige said, that there is something interesting about the four of us being together, because obviously we all have experiences walking through airports and hotels where you see people and they interact. But I think watching people's reaction where they go, and they realize it's like seeing a unicorn, they're like, the four of them, they're here. At the restaurant last night, Sean was actually at the convention center, so he showed up late, but you could see the guy who greets us said, is Mr. Astin coming? Are you going to complete the set for us? And then when Sean got here, he was
in the golden jacket, no less.
That's not a costume. That was Sean's jacket that we put on stage. No.
I feel very comfortable in this jacket. What I want to say what I want to say is that after 20 years of going to conventions, half of the people I interact with, I've interacted with in many other places. Oh, I saw you in New Orleans, or were you in Toronto? And some people will actually travel to say, oh yeah, I wanted to see you again. You did this new movie, I want to get it signed. Or like, oh, you remember when I was pregnant and here's a picture with you putting your hand on my belly? Here's my 12-year-old son. So you almost have, I have a very real sense that there is a relationship that has developed over time. And I don't ever take it for granted, but I kind of, there's safety and comfort in knowing when I go to these events that I'm gonna, have that sense of, it's family.
Yeah. I was gonna say familiarity, family. Raise your hand, make some noise if you flew here. Anybody flew here or drove from? Yeah. Look at that. And then just make some noise if you're from hometown San Francisco, everybody. But yeah, you see it all the time. It's amazing. Yeah. Billy, how about you? Again, like getting together, the four of you, you complete the set, meeting all the fans.
Yeah, no, just, you know, what they said. It's,
He has no recollection.
I mean, this is my first con, so seems like fun. No, it's like they say, it's amazing, and it's just so special when it's the four of us. You know, sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two, and when it's the four hobbits, it just feels kind of special. You know?
Yeah.
And and it's wonderful meeting everyone. It really is.
We have some fun things planned for the rest of the evening. We also have some fan questions that were submitted online, so I want to make sure we get to those. But I just want to end this sort of beginning here with, just take us back, right? Because we talked about 20 plus years, and we're back now together. Take us back to the beginning, and what's the one, again, now that it's so popular again and people are seeing it for the first time, what's the one memory that now comes back up in your mind in terms of like the beginning? Either being cast or your first day on set. Is there one particular instance that stands out for each of you?
I think for me, when you asked there, we never. I can't speak for the rest of the boys, but I didn't get given the script because it was so secretive. So it wasn't until we arrived in New Zealand, and I'd flown from Scotland, so it was like 35 hours later, and I got off the plane with Orlando Bloom. And we got in a car together, and there was an assistant there who gave me this leather-bound script with Billy Boyd on it, and that was the script of The Lord of the Rings, and I now had it in my hand, and just even that it wasn't just like paper printed out of a machine.
Sure.
That they took the trouble to leather bind this thing. I just thought, oh, this is special, and it felt like Lord of the Rings, you know. It shouldn't be just a bound thing. It's leather. Yes, this feels right straight away.
Yeah, I love it.
Mine was in chainmail.
Mithril, of course. Yeah. Any early memories, like first being cast, first arriving on set for you all?
I mean, the thing that I just thought of then, which was kind of interesting, was during the rehearsal process, our days were quite kind of regimented.
Sure.
We would do an hour of kind of, script reading, and then we do dialect training, some horse riding, some sword fighting. We do some movement stuff with our scale doubles. We would be in the studio at kind of 8 and maybe leaving at 5 or 6 or sometimes even later. And one of the days, I mean, we did it quite a lot, but one of these particular days we were doing some kayak work where myself and Billy were in a kayak, Orlando and John were in another kayak, and Elijah and Sean were in another kayak. And we got to the harbour, I guess, I guess that's what you call it.
Harbour. The harbour.
The dock, yeah.
Yeah, the dock, yeah. And while we were waiting for the kayaks to be set up, Billy and I just started messing around, doing this kind of physical, slightly Marx Brothers type thing where we were like twisting each other's boobs and like jumping underneath each other's legs.
Classic Marx Brothers.
Yeah, nuggies and wedgies and stuff like that. And it just kind of very organically just kind of happened on the dot. And someone was filming it. And I remember thinking at the end of it, we then jumped in the kayak and started doing work. And I remember thinking at the end of it, man, that was easy. Like we weren't prepping for anything. It just kind of happened really easily, and it was kind of fun and funny. We were kind of slightly reading each other's minds a little bit. And on the kayak kind of session then following, I remember thinking, there's something going on here. Like there's something connecting together, which was kind of a little bit of alchemy. So that's what stood out for me.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Twisting people's nipples stands out to you as,
Billy's like, I have no memory.
I remember so we'd get in these vans and we'd just be spirited away to different places where different activities like rowing or horse riding or whatever, sword fighting. Well, that's what I'm thinking of is there was a army base or military base of some kind, maybe a naval base, whatever, but it was World War II era. and it wasn't really in use anymore.
Sure.
But the buildings still stood. So we come in, 1, 2, 3 with the vans like this, and they open the doors, and you felt a little bit like, I don't know, like astronauts or something, like everybody's waiting to see who gets out of the minivans, and it's us. And so we get out, and then there wasn't anyone saying, oh, go in there.
Sure.
We knew we were going for sword training. So we kind of are finding our way through this old barracks. And when we walk in, there's 2 tables set on either side of this empty room with swords laid out.
Ooh.
And then this tall, statuesque figure called Bob Anderson. Bob Anderson was the sword master who taught Errol Flynn and Douglas Fairbanks.
Yeah.
He did the great sword fight in Princess Bride. He did Ben Kenobi in Star Wars. Yeah, he did that great sword fight with Darth Vader. He's the sword master of cinema for over longer than I've been alive. And he was just standing there, and he looked like out of a movie.
Yeah.
And he was old. He's 80-something years old or something like that. And he basically just indicated for us to choose our swords.
Oh.
And so we go over to the table, and we're looking at the swords, and I instantly knew the one that I wanted for Sam. And so we pick up our swords, and we kind of assemble in the middle of the room for whatever this instruction is going to be. And it was pretty quickly that he had us faced off with each other and doing rudimentary sword fighting. And it was like, you knew that you were in something awesome. Like, this is not just a movie. This is a next level. There's an energy, an aura surrounding the way they're doing all this. Like you were saying with the leather script, and
sure.
And when you go back to your hotel at the end of the night, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, this is like big.
That's awesome. Let's give it up for all the stunt choreographers, the stunt people that obviously a huge part of the film, and Bob Anderson, obviously, such a huge impact. Elijah, any early memories
Oh man,
that stick out? I know, so many.
so many. One thing that is an aspect of being an actor is that you often are leaving home and making your home somewhere else, and it's always a little bit of a process. And it's funny, it's new every time. I think that thing of like, you've been doing this for 20 years or however long, it still feels fresh because it's a new place and it's a new environment and it's new people. And I always get anxious and nervous, and it's like the first day of school, and how am I going to feel? And I'm going to have to, and I know inherently that in a couple days' time I will have found my comfort zone, and I'll find my way in. But I also know, and going into New Zealand, this was extraordinary. We're going to this place for a very long time. I knew that I was leaving. For me, I was 18. I'd never lived away from home for that long. I think the longest that I've been away from home on my own as an actor was probably 5-6 weeks. This was going to be 16 months. So I was literally going away to the other end of the world by myself to kind of go on this journey that I was very excited about. But I also anticipated that, it's going to take me a couple of days to kind of groove into it. And I'll never forget flying into Wellington, getting picked up at the airport, and kind of getting driven around Wellington as a small tour up Mount Vic and kind of around. It's quite small, Wellington. And I just had this feeling wash over me of like, this feels like home already.
Yeah.
And I just felt incredible, and I felt ready and at ease. And it was New Zealand, I think, to a degree. It was Wellington. It was the sort of friendliness and the instant sort of sense of familiarity that the folks in production had. And then, that night, there was a dinner. Drop your things at the hotel, and there's going to be a dinner tonight, and the cast who are here are going to be there. And it was just this sort of, the ball was already rolling, and it felt incredible. And the feeling amongst all of us, too, that each of these folks have already described, is that we were about to embark on something extraordinary. It felt really significant and special and like an adventure akin to what the characters were going to go through. And it was.
Yeah, my gosh, beautifully said by all of you. How about, Love it.
I'm just remembering So we had to we'll get our Hobbit feet on in the 4 in the morning, you know, and the sticky glue and get the hair put on and all that stuff. And then when we would go somewhere, presumably to protect the feet, we put on these green moon boots. They came up to here. They were really heavy. They had a Velcro thing on it. And actually, as soon as you put it on, you'd start to sweat and it would mess up the feet.
It would mess up the feet.
So it completely against it. But they at a certain point, they put these on us and then they put robes on us and the hoods up on the robes.
And to dissuade any photography of us.
Yes, there weren't cell phone cameras. This was last century.
It was long lens cameras up on hills.
Long lens cameras. Nobody with like a selfie was not a word yet. Selfie was something totally different in the 20th century. So now, oh hey. Ooh. So, but anyhow, that idea that we were like hiding the thing, that there was mystery associated of the image, and that like, oh man, they're afraid that if somebody takes a picture and it gets put, I don't even, was there online? It was AOL and Napster or something, right? It was like
Only AOL and Napster.
Yeah, so but that would spoil it. It would spoil it for the fans. They were very careful about how they released images and when they released images to bring people along. So that's something that I had never been a part of, like, oh, I have to be. But you take to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like the rock star treatment. You're like, the first few times you're like, no, we're fine. And then you're like, you're gonna get the door? Or like, what's going on? Kidding.
Well, speaking of rock stars, there's a lot of rock stars on a show called Celebrity Family Feud. We'd like to play some Celebrity Family Feud with you all, if that's cool. Some Fantasy Feud. There were 4 people that we selected in line that got a special Fan Expo San Francisco card. We're going to bring them up on stage to play with our cast. Give them a round of applause. If y'all are here, come on down. You're gonna meet Tajan over there, and she'll take you backstage. We have Gandalf the Grey joining us.
Oh, it's great.
All right, while we get set up, how well do you all think you know the lore? Can we talk a little bit about knowing sort of
the lore
of, the lore of Lord of the Rings and kind of the story before you were a part of it?
Well, out of 10, you mean?
Yeah.
9.
9.2.
Ooh.
It currently?
Yeah. Or you can tell us what it was before, too.
I'd say like an 8.
Soft 6.
I'm gonna go with a 5.
Soft 6.
Maybe it's, yeah.
All right, let's bring them up when they're there. All right, we're gonna split on either side of the table here. So I need 2 of you on this side and 2 on this side. We're gonna pair you up with some audience members, mindful of the. Okay, we got Team Elijah and Billy.
This is great. Oh,
This is Team Dom. Don't look at the answers. You'll be able to see you up there. All right, this is Buzzer. So just like Family Feud. All right, we're gonna bring some. Let's give it up for our audience members here. Very good. Very good. All right, why don't you pop over there? Head over there. We'll meet you as we go. You're going to play on Team Dom and Sean. You're going to play on Team Elijah and Billy. Okay. All right. Go ahead and splice yourself in there one at a time. Okay, we got Billy versus Elijah. First round, here's the buzzer. All right, Family Feud rounds. First person to buzz in gets to answer first. Whoever has the top answer gets to decide if they'd like to play or pass. Okay. All right, are we ready? So we can throw that. Are we up on the screen there?
If we think we know it, we have to buzz.
Yes.
Copy that.
Okay. Here, let me pop out of here. Okay. The question is. First question.
Take your time.
Name a fictional fantasy series with a large fan base. Oh, all right. Dom.
Narnia.
Narnia is your answer. Unfortunately, that is an X. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Come on.
Elijah.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is the number 1 answer. Number 1 answer. All right, so you get to decide whether you'd like to play or pass. What would you like to do? Don't look.
I just saw the
We're back. It's okay. It's okay. You can still decide whether you'd like to play or pass. It's going to go to your other teammates, so it's okay. It's okay, they haven't seen it yet.
Oh, play. We're gonna play. We're gonna play.
All right. We've got Harry Potter, #1 answer. All right, let's bring up our first audience volunteer. What's your name, sir?
RJ.
RJ, give it up for RJ. All right, you can't help RJ. RJ, come in. RJ, name a popular fantasy series.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. What do you think? You can all play. Good answer. Good answer. All right, Game of Thrones. Is it up there? Survey says #3 answer, Game of Thrones. Nice shot. All right, Billy. Billy, you're up.
Fantasy.
Yes, you're the most popular fantasy series. What do you think? 3 answers on the board.
The Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, #2 answer. All right, let's bring up Gandalf the Grey. Gandalf the Grey, come on down. What's your real name?
Ken.
Ken, name a popular fantasy series.
Don't help it!
You can use your team. We're breaking the rules a little bit.
Okay, how about Star Wars?
So how about Star Wars? What do you think? Good answer, audience? Good answer? All right, that is the #4 answer. All right, no strikes yet. Elijah, you're back up and you feel like you cheated maybe. That was my fault.
I definitely feel like I cheated, so one of these...
Okay, Billy, come on back up. Billy.
I'm back.
If you get it right, you get all the points.
I
If
know what
not,
the last
we're
one
going to
is.
go to this team for the steal.
I've just switched off my brain because I did good with the last one.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Hold
I'm
on till
sorry.
I switch it back on again.
Okay. Name a popular fantasy series. Elijah's trying to give him hints.
I'm not confirming, I'm just looking in his lovely eyes.
Yeah.
Supposed to
No
confirm.
hints. Oh. There's some very glassy blue sexy.
Is it in any way
I said.
the vampires?
Yeah.
It's definitely night of the kiss of the diary.
I'm sorry, that's not. What?
Twilight.
Twilight. Very good. All right, you get all the points. Nice job. Team 1. All right, 100 points. All right, Team 2, come on up. Team 2, come on up.
Does that mean 12 of them pick Twilight?
12 of them pick Twilight. Yeah. Okay.
Sean, come on.
All right, you ready? All right, it's Sean versus Billy for the buzzer. Here we go. No, that's not. All right, round 2. Okay. All right, you can't see the answers this time. Your question is, name a popular character from the Lord of the Rings. Okay, Sean. Yes. Name.
You can't wait till it finished.
No, you can buzz in. Name a popular character from Lord of the Rings.
It's got to be the #1 one.
Trying to get #1.
Come on, Sean. Come on.
Who do you want to pick?
I'm just trying to decide.
Jeez.
Samwise Gamgee.
Samwise Gamgee. All right. Samwise Gamgee isn't up there. Survey said, #6.
That's the same ones who picked Twilight.
Billy, do you have a steal for the #1?
I will go for my good friend, Gandalf.
Gandalf. Let's look it up. Survey says #2 answer. All right, Billy, you get to decide if you'd like to play or pass. I will say,
We're gonna play.
all right, they're gonna play. All right, get ready for the steal. Get ready for the steal. Okay, who's up first? Come on down. Name a popular character from the Lord of the Rings.
Gollum.
Gollum. What do we think? Good answer, everybody? Good answer? Great answer. Gollum, is it up there? Survey says #3 answer. Nice job. Gandalf.
Frodo Baggins.
Frodo Baggins. Good answer? Is it up there? Survey says #1 answer. Frodo Baggins. Let's bring up Frodo. All right, Elijah, you got 3 answers on the board. No X's yet. This team has barely played. What would you like to do here? 3 more answers. Name a popular Lord of the Rings character.
Sauron.
Ooh. Sauron. Is Sauron up there? Survey says no. I'm sorry. It's an X.
The
All right.
Dark Lord?
Yeah. All right, you all guessed, and for dramatic effect, we're going to break the rules and go to the other team for a steal. For a steal. You can talk. You can talk amongst yourselves. You've got 3 answers up there. If you get one right, you steal the points. If you get it wrong, they get all the points. All right, what do you think? There's 3 more characters.
Romy should do it. All right, everybody, this is Romy.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Romy. Hey, Romy.
Marry a dog, Romy.
What's up? Romy, what do you think for your team?
Aragorn.
Aragorn. If it's up there, they steal the points and we go into a third round. If it's not, you win ultimately and we kick everybody off stage. Let's see. Is Aragorn up there? Survey says Aragorn is up there. They steal the points. All right, let's see. Everyone say number 4. Legolas. And number 7, Bilbo. I'm sorry, Merry and Pippin, you are not one of the
That's
most.
okay.
Yeah. All right. Who wants up for the final round? Final buzzer. Yeah, let's get. All right, Elijah. Oh yeah, we haven't met you yet. What's your first name?
I'm Katie.
Katie. Let's Katie versus Gandalf. Here we go. For the win. I'm not sure if anybody's keeping track of points. Here we go. Your question is. Name a formidable foe from the Lord of the Rings. All right, Gandalf. A formidable foe. Who do you got? Balrog.
Balrog.
The Balrog. All right, we think that's a good answer. What do we think? Balrog, is it up there? Survey says number 4.
Very nice.
All right, you can get a higher answer. 1, 2, or 3. What's your guess?
Sauron.
Sauron. Sauron, is it up there? Survey says number 1 answer. Would you like to play? Perfect, great. I didn't give you the second option. All right, let's get one of your next teammates up. Yeah, Dom, come on down. Dom, come on down, yeah. All right, there's still 4 more answers on the board.
I will say.
This is worth triple the points, meaning the first 2 rounds were irrelevant. So, here we go.
Let's say Sauron.
Saruman. Saruman, is it up there? Survey says Saruman. Number 2 answer. All right, Sean, come on down. Then we'll go. You're up next. Oh, a little bit of a taunt walk there. Sean, we have 3 more answers on the board. Name a formidable foe in Lord of the Rings.
Shelob.
Oh! Shelob the spider. What do we think? Good answer, audience? Shelob, is it up there? Survey says it's up there. All right, let's bring down our first hobbit. Yeah, come on down. What was your first name again? Romy. Romy, we got 2 answers on the board. You have no X's. Name a formidable foe from Lord of the Rings.
Witch King.
The Witch King. Witch King, is it up there? We're going to go to the judges on this. They're going to give it to you. Ring Race, the Witch King. Number 3, and then we're back to our beginning. Here we go. Well, you could not get this, and then we go to the steal, and they could steal the points. All right, we got 1 answer up there. You can't talk to your team during this portion. Yeah, that's cheating. No, you can't. No. They get to talk for a steal. Start to think of a steal. No, stop cheating. Come on, let's go. No, don't listen to them. This is very official. All right, what do you think?
Wormtongue?
Wormtongue. Is Wormtongue up there? Survey says no, I'm sorry. All right, for the steal, a formidable foe from the Lord of the Rings. A character.
Shut it!
It's a bad guy. A bad guy that has not been mentioned.
Just looking out in the audience.
A bad person that has not been mentioned.
It's cheating.
A single bad person that has not been mentioned. I don't want to give any more clues. Oh.
Is it Gollum?
Gollum is the answer! They're the winners! I'm sorry, you stole the points. That was Fan Expo Hobbit Family Feud. Let's hear it for our audience members. Let's hear it for our Hobbitses.
Of all the people who should know that Gollum is not always evil. Huh.
Everybody who played gets a swag bag for playing, so thank you so much. Give it up for audience volunteers. Give it for your cast. Nice job. You all look amazing.
That was really fun.
Good job, audience. Give yourself a round of applause. There was some help out there.
It's so funny. The Gollum thing is confusing, though,
it
because
is.
Gollum is not a villain.
I know. Formidable foe.
He's both.
Formidable foe was the wording.
Right,
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But poor Smeagol,
Orcs.
you know?
Orcs would have. Orcs was a good one.
Yeah, we like orcs.
Urukai. What are there other good bad guys in
Cave Troll, good shout.
Cave Troll?
The Watcher.
The Watcher. There's a lot. These
How
are just the
about
most
your
fun.
own nature? A formidable foe. Thank you, you guys. That was awesome.
That's the theme.
All 11 of you are coming to my house later.
Let's get to some fan questions. We had a bunch of fans submit online some social media questions. If you're here and you hear your name, just give a little like, woo, here I am, and you can stand up. Let's kick things off. Linda Marr on Facebook. Oh my gosh, right up front in the front. Hey, Linda. What's up, Linda?
Hi, Linda.
Linda Marr wants to know, I've enjoyed seeing you at the Fan Expos. Are you one that travels? You said Fan Expos. From New Orleans, yeah. So
We'll be there in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll see you there.
It's amazing.
I hope you bring your same television studio. She has a whole studio right there with her. Okay.
Linda wants to know, you work so well together. Would you ever consider another project or movie as a group? If they can...
No. We're always considering it, yeah? Yeah.
We would love it.
Well, yeah.
These
don't-
two are about to do a play.
We're about to, yeah.
What? Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, everybody. This is showing in Canada and England, and we were hoping to get some US dates. I don't know if that's on the horizon.
We'll see.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm always pitching ideas. What about a sitcom where we do this? Or what about a cross country, like a road picture and stuff? They'll give in at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, we would love to do things together, whether it be a film or, I mean, they're doing a TV show as well, or television, or a venture of some kind. I mean, we love being together and doing things together, and creating something together would be really fun.
Yeah, we were exploring it last night at dinner for quite a while. So it's always kind of bubbling away. We just have to pick the perfect thing, really.
On the trips that the conventions that we did on the circuit, basically, we did 8 or 9 of them, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We created a T-shirt. Elijah found an artist, and we decided to call it the Here and There Again. What was it? The Here and There Again. The Here and There Again tour. And like the painting that or the drawing that you had them do was just awesome, of a VW bus and all of us sticking our heads out of it and getting over the pipe, and yeah, it was pretty great. So and they can buy it somewhere.
Yeah, it's still for sale.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You have to
Hobbits on tour.
Hobbits on tour.
Dom, I know you did some documentary, maybe a documentary road trip tour. Would you not watch that, everybody? Yeah. What happened?
Billy and I are just about to finish the last episode of a show that we're doing called Billy and Dominic the World. This season we went to England, Scotland, California, Texas, Japan, and we go to Switzerland in a couple of weeks. So that should be out next year sometime.
Billy, favorite spot? Without not giving spoilers for the show, favorite?
I have no memory. No, it was fantastic, and we got to eat all crazy and wonderful stuff, and even more importantly, met some brilliant people. So we're very excited for that show to come out, and hopefully you guys like it, and we'll make some more. We just came back from Japan, so that's the one that's in my head just now.
Yeah.
And we went to a place. What was the island called? Kyushu?
Kyushu, yeah.
And there's a city there that's got volcanic, basically water, like boiling water, all underneath it. So there's steam coming out everywhere in this. It's like Blade Runner or something. It's crazy. And people are cooking with this boiling water coming up from the ground. They open restaurants and you put in baskets of food into the steam. And it's that was a crazy place. I'd never seen. And then we had the bath together. Hot water, it was lovely. This volcanic, like boiling water. We were just sitting in it. It was hot. It was really hot.
That's so perfect. When Billy dies and goes to heaven, there's going to be hot water everywhere.
And Dom, of course.
And
too.
Dom there as well.
Well, Dom says he's eating the world. He doesn't look like it. Pretty fit, man.
I love it. Well, we'd love to see anything with you all in it. I'm going to combine this next question a little bit because it was similar. So we have Rebecca White from Facebook. I don't know if Rebecca White's out there. Amanda Jacobs and Mishana Alcala Mosley. All ask about just filming in New Zealand. You know, what sets blew you away? What was it like filming there? But I thought this was an interesting take on it. Is there anything you regret not doing while you were there that maybe you've done since, or any sort of regret memories? Yeah, interesting, right?
Never did the bungee jump.
Yeah, I did the world's biggest bungee jump in
I would
Queenstown.
like to have done that.
I did the bungee jump.
Yeah, did you Quara Bridge?
The Quara Bridge, yeah. So we Andrew Jack and his wife and my wife Christine and Allie, my daughter, we went to the Quara Bridge, saw where they were doing the bungee jumping, and said, these people are insane. And so we went across the street to a vineyard, and we had this, there's a cafe, and we had this wonderful lunch, and at least a bottle of wine was consumed during this lunch. Now we knew at that exact time, there was some sort of a cable car bungee jump situation where Orlando and you guys and you, yeah, right? So we knew that you were doing, and we spent the entire lunch disparaging you. And the recklessness and the lack of, kind of common sense and we just went on and on about this. And then when we left, I said, I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah.
And we went over, and it was the alcohol. This is why alcohol, you got to be careful, people. So we went and I did it, but I just thought at that moment, in the deadened part of my brain, I thought, I don't want to go back into the makeup bus tomorrow and have all these young whippersnappers talking about how great they did bungee jumping. So I got to do the bungee jumping too. It was terrifying.
Were they nervous that you all were doing this during filming, Tom?
I don't think we told them. We just kept it kind of quiet. It was.
We were given a list of things we were not supposed to
Yeah,
do.
we were not allowed to do bungee jumping. So we weren't allowed to do surfing. We
Surfing
did
was on the
that.
list.
Oh.
But
Strongly advised.
at
not
that
to
point,
take
it was
part
the
in these
world's
things.
biggest bungee jump. I don't think it is now. I think there's a bigger one in South Africa, and Orlando and I were really keen. And I distinctly remember getting Elijah to say yes and Billy to say yes. And in the morning, when we knocked on their hotel rooms, they did not answer.
No, I came.
Oh,
I
you
came.
came with Ian.
Yeah,
You just
me
didn't
and
do
Ian-
it.
No, me and Ian just stayed in the car and we listened to classical music. It was brilliant. And these
great.
guys went and jumped off a thing that you didn't need to jump off.
It's really high, really scary.
You were there as the witness.
Honestly, me and Ian sat in this car listening to music, watching these guys going up.
I think, in all seriousness, I regret not buying a flat or an apartment.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
Same.
Yes.
we
Hands
could have
down.
done it very quickly.
Yeah, before the popularity.
Before,
so-
obviously, the prices
Yeah.
of property rose dramatically after those movies, and we could have had a place to go back to and a little bit of a centre. We all love going to New Zealand so much. It would be a lot easier and much more practical if you were going to New Zealand to your flat, just to do a little bit of admin or staying there. So
sure.
I do genuinely regret not doing that.
There you go. Thank you. So if there are any New Zealand real estate agents in the room,
Who can transport us back to 2002?
Well, see, that's the thing is, when we what's that? Tony Robinson. But the thing
Doctor
about
Who?
New Zealand at that time is it was much cheaper.
Sure.
The world had not discovered it,
Sure.
so real estate was way more mellow.
Yeah.
And the dollar was fucking good. So you double your money going to New Zealand. So it was a prime time for us to have established some sort of space there, which would have been amazing. I'd gotten the papers to apply for residency as well. When we were done with principal photography, I thought, man, it'd be great to get residency here to eventually maybe turn it into citizenship eventually. We fell in love with that country and we just didn't do it.
The thought
we
occurred
were
to me.
young guys and
Yeah.
At the premiere of the third film in Wellington, the Prime Minister showed up. And the
Alan
thought,
Clark, yeah.
the thought occurred to me to ask. I wasn't quite brave enough, I guess. Yeah. So, but the New Zealanders, they say they want to get a batch. They call it a batch, like their little modest someplace on the water. Everything's on the water in New Zealand, but basically a place that's your own. And working people can afford a little, 4 walls and getting a batch would have been awesome.
That's awesome. You talked a little bit about the bungee jumping, the baths, the listening to classical music. This is a question from Luke Weeks on Facebook. What was your favorite thing to do to relax? Or maybe something that you did then, or even something you do now as an actor, performer, in between filming?
To relax.
We listened to a lot of music, man. We were ingesting so much new music.
Yeah.
We were getting a weekly kind of pocket money, and we would go to this place called Real Groovy Records. This was back when CDs were still like the major way to be getting music, and it was not uncommon for certainly myself, Elijah, and Billy to walk out of Real Groovy Records every week with 10, 15, 20 CDs, which we would listen to, then swap. Then the 20 CDs would get swapped, and we would go around the makeup trailer that week. Oh, listen to this. This is new.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
great. I've got the second album. Oh, cool. I've got the third album. Oh, let's do this. They're releasing another album next week. They're going on tour. And the amount of music that we ingested. I mean, that was one of the most accelerated times in my life for us to ingest music. So, in between scenes and takes, we were constantly in and out of each other's trailers, listening to the Sundays, listening to Grandaddy and Coldplay and Travis and Eminem, and it just went on and on. So I think music is very, very relaxing for me when I think about New Zealand in between takes.
Very nice. Any other relaxation techniques?
I read a lot, actually, on set. Read a lot. We took a lot of naps. We would nap in each other's trailer. I'd pop over to...
He would nap in everyone's trailer. You'd walk in, Elijah's napping in Dom's trailer. Okay.
Yeah, there were. I seem to remember a lot of napping.
We were sleeping together quite a bit.
Yeah.
The rumors are true.
It's the fanfic everybody wants.
But you know, it got to the point in shooting where we were doing 6-day weeks.
Sure.
And so we'd only have one day off. And we would choose to relax by spending time with each other.
Yeah.
Like going out for brunch on a Sunday was it was decompressing. It was a way to separate yourself from being in Middle Earth, because our world was Middle Earth. You know, we would, you know, wake up, live it, go to sleep, dream about it. When you're dreaming about your feet being taken off while you're sleeping, I would dream of the technicians being in my bedroom, taking my feet off. Like, that's how much we just living that world. So.
Sure.
To be fair, it was the relaxation and decompression was surfing on weekends and going to the Chocolate Fish for brunch and doing something outside of the confines of Stone Street Studios.
Yeah, for sure.
To be fair, it was late brunch because they would have all got together on Saturday night.
You mean second breakfast is what?
At least,
No,
yes.
I'm kidding.
In New Zealand, if you every 10 minutes, if you get in the car and drive, it's a completely different place.
Wow.
You're like in this mountain highland area, then you're on the cliffs of a thing, and then you're in a meadow, and you know. So with my wife and daughter, we would just drive and go places. Napier, we didn't work in Napier, right?
No, we didn't.
Napier is this something out of a Coppola movie. It's just like this. What do they call it? Art Deco. Somebody after a big earthquake in the 50s had decided that Art Deco was the thing to do, so they designed Napier. Everywhere you looked, all the buildings were Art Deco. And you're looking around like, this is so wild, you know? But we'd go to Napier, we'd go to wherever, and exploring New Zealand, or just, I think that was pretty relaxing.
That's awesome. Billy, you are obviously an accomplished musician as well. You sung beautifully in Return of the King there at the edge of night. Was that something that the cast knew about it? Would you, or did it just come about for that final film, or had they known a little bit about your talents and your bands and stuff?
No, not really. It wasn't a big part of, you know, that time in my life, I suppose. As they were saying, we were working so much that it was a lot of the time just one day, or if we got 2 days, we would travel up the coast and rent a batch, as Sean was saying. They've got a lovely thing in New Zealand where you go to the local store and people have left their keys, and you'd say, any batches this weekend? And you say, yeah, this for $40 or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's done in an honesty way that you clean it all before you leave. So we would do things like that. So music wasn't really a big thing until we had one night out in a karaoke. And one of the writers was there, and I went up and I was singing in this karaoke, And she was there, and the next day she said to Pete, "We should get Billy to sing in the."
Based off that karaoke night?
As far as I know, it was yeah.
That's amazing.
And then I kind of wrote that song and recorded it within 3 days or something.
Wow.
And that scene wasn't there, you know.
Yeah, such
Yeah,
a beautiful scene. Everybody's
Thank you.
favorite. Come on, who doesn't tear up during that scene? Yeah. Last fan question, and then we have one final thing that we did with the fans beforehand that we're going to play with you to kind of wrap things up. But this is from Matthew Scherls, if you're out there. After working on all 3 films, what is one thing you all took/learned from that experience that helped your career in your life moving forward? Yeah. Nothing. Okay, let's go to the game. No.
That's a big question.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's one takeaway. It's difficult to quantify that, you know. But these, speaking for myself, you know, I was 18 when I went to New Zealand, and I was 22 when we were finished.
Yeah.
So a huge amount of life experience gained from being in New Zealand and forging these friendships and taking on that responsibility, and it was enormous. So, you know, for setting one up for life, the films kind of were that, akin to a sort of collegiate experience, perhaps. You know?
Yeah.
It's really profound in that way.
I think, just thinking there, you know, try to get your head around that, and I'm just thinking about Chat GPT and AIs and things, and looking at the Tolkien fandom, not just, you know, at cons, which is wonderful, but also Tolkien music, Tolkien people reading it. And there's something about someone creating a piece of art over time from their heart and from love that's not from a machine and it's not done quickly, and there's something about that makes it stay.
Yeah.
And then that being passed to Pete Jackson and his team, who then took it with love and heart, and then everyone involved in it. So I think if I've learned anything, it's, you know, if you're going to create something, it might be painful to make it, but it's worthwhile, rather than just hammering things out. This works, so let's do it again. This works, you know.
Yeah.
When it's someone doing it, then it lasts, and you see it. You see how much people love what Tolkien did, and then what Pete did, you know.
Let's hear it.
I think everything they just said is absolutely right. I think they just created a kind of a global feeling about what was everyone experienced, and I'm sure everyone took with them. For me personally, there was a moment. So we're actors. It was a movie. It was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really, really hard. There were things, sometimes the hardest thing you could do was wait. You know, you work a 12, 14-hour day, and there's 4 hours in between where it's here or there where you have to wait, and then boom, you don't know you're gonna jump upside, the mental exhaustion of that. But then the physical stuff with the feet and the ears and the hair and running up the sides of volcanoes, and there was just, the stupid backpack. That backpack, I'm not kidding. That backpack was not ergonomic. It was not a contemporary thing. Poor Simon, the prop guy, whose job was to cinch it under my back every time. I mean, he and I were like, it was Sisyphus. You know, he was just like pushing the rock up the hill, and then, it would be like, do you want to take it off? And he's like hoping I'd say no, and I'm like, I don't want to go through the thing of putting it back on, and like cuts into your thing, and miserable stupid backpack. So, and things were falling on my head, and like, it was really hard. So at one point I went into the makeup bus, and they had these kind of 18-wheelers that were emptied out, and then they put the stations, the makeup stations, and there were 5 stations in a bus, and each of us had our station, and you decorated with all your pictures and all your things. And it was, I can't remember what I went in to get, but I went in to get something. It was dark, and I looked in the mirror, and I just saw this fat guy looking back at me, and I couldn't see me anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was anymore, and I had this like existential moment of like, what if I can't go on? Like, this is too hard. And you can't. I'm a second generation actor. My mother was looking down on me from somewhere, and like, you can't quit. There's no quitting. So what happens? Are you just gonna like die? Like, this is too hard. And I stared at myself, and I had a good proper, hyperventilating panic attack. And then when it was over, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we went and did the second half of the experience, and it was like, I think what I realized is that we are capable of so much more than we realize in terms of our own ability and our own capacity. And so I don't know that it's ever been tested like that in terms of a career, but in terms of my life, I think that, you've always got that thing, you've graduated, now you can do more than you realized, so.
Wow. Let's hear it. No. We are just about out of time. But we wanted to make sure we got all the audience involved. So we did a poll beforehand. This is a Lord of the Rings Would You Rather, so kind of a this or that style game. We know the audience's responses, but they were all just voting for themselves.
You're gonna pit us against them now?
No. There's no wrong answer. They voted for what they wanted, and then we're all just gonna choose for yourself which things you would prefer. Again, not trivia or anything. So we can throw that up on the screen. All right, would you rather vacation in the country, like the Shire, or in the city, Gondor?
Shire.
Shire was the clear winner, 89%. All right, number 2. Would you rather have a dwarf's beard or hobbit's hairy feet?
Hobbit feet.
Dwarf's beard.
Dwarf's beard.
Yeah. Sean.
Hobbit feet.
It was a tie. It was very close. 51 to 49. Who had it? Well, what do you think was worse, the application of the beards and the facial makeup for Gimli, or your feet?
I mean, for John, it was extreme.
John was right. Yeah. All right, number 3. Would you rather ride a great eagle or ride an ent?
Eagle.
I've ridden an ent.
Yeah.
It's super uncomfortable.
So,
Who won? What was
you could put that back up.
Eagle one. Come on,
Yeah,
who doesn't
yeah.
want to fly?
There it is. 69% say
I was
ride.
given a trail name by a native elder, and it was Gentle Wind Eagle.
Oh, lovely.
And he said the eagle has.
I agree with the gentle wind.
Well, Bella, my daughter, said, "Dad, your wind is not gentle." But I feel so. Yeah, me and Guahir.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Number 4. Would you rather be a ring bearer or be a ring wraith?
I'd rather be a ring bearer because there are moments of peace, whereas a ring wraith, you're always in torture.
Yeah. Ring bearer.
Yeah.
Ring bearer.
But only just.
There's no wrong answer. No wrong answer, Sean. No wrong answer. You're going wraith, aren't you? Yeah.
Are you about to wraith it up, Dom?
No, he gets to go to the Grey Haven, so ring bearer.
Yeah. It was pretty close. Look at that. 53% said. More people said wraith.
Because
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Yeah. It's a. Yeah. No. I know.
I see you.
Yeah. Couple more. Here we go. Would you rather lick a troll or make out with worm tongue?
Fuck.
Wait.
Do you want to know where on
What
the troll?
part of the troll?
What part of the troll? Yeah. It's that part that you're thinking of. Yeah. Just picture. Yeah.
I'd make out with Wormtongue. Brad Doris.
Oh, all right.
Quite a good-looking man, and he's a talented actor. As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go worm tongue.
Worm tongue. Make out with worm tongue.
Are you thinking about licking a troll's bumhole? Is that what you're thinking about?
I'm
right
thinking
now?
about licking a troll's knuckle or like the knee.
Oh,
The bad place.
Why does it have to be? That's not confirmed. It's just lick a troll general.
You can choose. Are you going troll?
I'm gonna lick a troll.
Okay.
Dirty bugger.
Lick-a-troll.
Lick-a-troll. Yeah, most people pick lick-a-troll. No one wanted to make
you.
out with worm tongue. All right, we got.
Nobody tell Brad this. This is me.
No, it's not. Brad Dorff, this is worm tongue here, you know. All right, who you're gonna save, Gollum or Boromir?
Yeah. That's highly controversial, yeah.
Well, it's got to be Boromir.
But Smeagol's adorable.
But his, I mean, look at that beautiful death. He's so happy. He's so happy.
He's so happy.
It's got his precious again. He doesn't even know he's about to meet his end.
Yeah.
Probably Boromir, yeah.
All right, Boromir.
Yeah, Boromir.
But does saving no. I mean, what would that have done
You're.
To the fellowship if you save Boromir.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for that fanfic, Elijah.
I'm not.
But that's a good thought. It's a good thought.
I'm not just gonna say save Boromir. I'm gonna say save Boromir, and it's over 90%.
Oh, he's calling it 84. Very close. Very close. Very close. Okay, final one. Final one. Here we go. Would you rather potatoes, boil them, mash them, or stick them in a stew?
Mash them for me.
Mash them.
Big fan of mashed potatoes.
I'll stick them in a stew.
Okay, stick them in a stew.
Sticking them in a stew?
Sticking them in a stew. The expert, let's hear the swing vote. Whatever you say is the right answers.
I want to clarify my options.
Yeah.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Correct.
With a nice piece of fried fish. You can hear a pin drop. It's boil them, mates.
Yeah! Mash them, win, stick them in a stew, boil them. Boil them's the correct answer. We have Sam Wise here. Fan Expo San Francisco, get